the apocalypse has arrived. I obtained the jade pendant space, and my family's food and water security were basically worry-free, but Mom, Dad, and my brother were insatiable. They thought I was secretly hoarding a lot of food and resources and pushed me into the zombie horde while I was exhausted. After I was reborn, my brother threatened me to give him the jade pendant, saying he wanted to be the king of the apocalypse base. This time, I gave him the jade pendant. Sister, give me the jade pendant, quick. My brother suddenly burst into my room, pushed me to the ground, grabbed my collar, and fumbled around my neck, asking as he felt, "Where's the jade pendant? Where is it?" I instinctively kicked him. He instantly smashed into the side of the desk, his face contorted in pain. Only then did I realize I was back in my room before the apocalypse. I'd been reborn. I've actually been reborn. Sis, you're reborn too, right? Otherwise, how would you dare to kick me? My brother touched his sore spot but looked ecstatic. Where's the jade pendant? Hurry and give it to me. I want to drip blood to make it recognize me as its master. At this moment, Dad and Mom also entered the room. Jean D, take out the jade pendant, Mom said fiercely, looking at me. We've all been reborn. If you don't give it to us now, we'll beat you to death. Hurry up. Dad raised his foot and kicked. I quickly dodged. I remembered the pain of being bitten and torn apart by zombies, and I was still trembling all over. You can actually dodge. You've also been reborn, so that saves me the trouble of explaining. Hurry up and hand over the jade pendant. I quickly begged for mercy. Dad, Mom, don't hit me. The jade pendant isn't on me. I'll find it right away. I pretended to be scared and shakily got up. While searching, I thought that after they pushed me into the zombie horde in my previous life, they must have taken my jade pendant. Unfortunately, they couldn't get the jade pendant to recognize a new master. This time, they're rushing me to hand over the jade pendant, clearly trying to snatch the opportunity for the first master recognition. Since you want it so badly, here you go. I took out a thumb-sized, dark green Hatian jade from the inner pages of a thick book titled, A Brief History of Time. I found it while traveling from a Xinjiang local. It only cost me a little over 300 when I bought it. Who would have thought it was a spatial artifact? As soon as I took it out, my younger brother snatched it and bit his finger with his teeth, dripping blood onto the Hatian jade. Ha ha ha, I have a spatial artifact now. Jean Long, try it quickly. Can you put things into it? My mom and dad were so excited their faces were flushed red. In the blink of an eye, they packed up everything usable in the house. I secretly rejoiced, thinking, it took them more than 10 minutes to realize I was still there. My mom suggested we tie me up first and then throw me to the zombies later, otherwise I might retaliate against them. I put on a crying face and said sadly, Mom and Dad, you can't do this to me. This jade pendant has many functions. If you kill me, what if my brother encounters something he doesn't know how to use? These words made Mom hesitate. Dad immediately had my brother check the functions of the space, clearly intending to figure out the space right away and then kill me to prevent future trouble. I was completely and utterly disappointed. My current parents are even more vicious than in my past life. I am their daughter too. In my past life, for the sake of their family of 3 to eat and stay warm, I suffered so much. Why are they treating me like this? Brother, for the sake of how well I've treated you normally, please ask Mom and Dad to spare my life. I will definitely be useful later. I pleaded in a low voice, reminding him because they later tried to give me away to a base boss in exchange for housing. Jean Long looked at me proudly, with an arrogant expression. Then he seemed to think of something and said to Mom and Dad, forget it. After all, she's my sister. Mom and Dad, it's fine if you let her help with chores. The apocalypse is coming, and we still need someone to cook and do laundry. It's good to keep her, so Mom won't be tired. Mom and Dad thought about it and agreed. You stay here and clean up the house. We're going out. When we get back, I want to see dinner cooked and the clothes hung out to dry. Mom gave me a few days' worth of chores and threatened me that if I didn't finish, I would be punished. The apocalypse is coming tomorrow, and there's not much time. The 3 of them immediately went out to buy supplies, locking me in the house. As I was about to leave, Mom turned back and took my phone too. I looked at my home, which had been mostly emptied and was a mess, like it had been robbed. In my past life, I protected them too well. They basically never went outside and had no idea what was happening out there. If they think owning a jade pendant makes them invincible, they can keep dreaming. I opened my backpack, packed some essential daily necessities, and set a little surprise in the kitchen. Then I smashed open the doors and windows and escaped. Fortunately, my ID card wasn't taken. I rushed to the bank to get a loan, but only got a 20,000 student loan. That's far from enough. I bought a durable new phone and took a taxi straight to City B, where the largest national management base established in the apocalypse, the Morning Light Base, was located. The car ride was 3 hours. I was burning with impatience. I immediately searched local supermarkets and ordered many supplies online for same-day delivery, requesting delivery around 10 p.m. tonight, with the address set as the entrance to Yongda residential area. Yongda residential area is situated on higher ground, has a wide residential area, is well connected by transportation, and is not a bustling district. After the apocalypse arrives, it will be included in the Morning Light Base and become a residential area for its residents. Upon arriving at Yongda residential area, the main gate was open, and the access control was strict. I headed straight for room 001 on the 8th floor and found the key hidden in a corridor planter. I breathed a sigh of relief, and only truly relaxed after opening the door to 8001. Room 8001, a 3-bedroom, 1-living room apartment, was a piece of news I heard in my previous life. The original owner was an officer who was away on missions for extended periods, and his parents were also gone, so the house was left empty. Later, the officer said the key was hidden in a flower pot and donated the house. After I changed the online delivery address to require delivery to 8001, I saw there were still 2 hours left and added a lot more items, asking them to be delivered together. Then, without pausing, I went downstairs to various small supermarkets to buy goods. Since I didn't have much money left, I couldn't buy much, so I could only prepare some essential items. After a few trips, I felt like I finally had enough. I lay on the sofa, tired as a dog. After a quick shower, I went out again to stock up on a few bottles of shower gel, shampoo, several towels, and snacks. For snacks, I picked a few that I had always craved in my previous life. Back then, I was reluctant to eat any good food I found, taking it all home, hoping to get praise from mom and dad, but they never praised me, because my younger brother Jean Long was never satisfied and said the snacks I brought back were all garbage, asking me to go out in the middle of the night to find him endless chicken wings. Mom and dad told me to go out and find them, and if I couldn't, I shouldn't come back that night. It was that night that I was bitten by a zombie and burned all night. I awakened my speed ability. That night was extremely difficult to get through. After returning, mom and dad still gave me cold stares, not caring at all that I had just escaped death. My brother Jean Long didn't get his chicken wings and broke my head. Blood dripped onto the sun jade pendant, which was a small round pendant carved from a Hetian jade stone. I then opened another space. I kept my special abilities and the existence of the sun jade pendant a secret, as well as the connection between my abilities, the sun jade pendant, and the space. What they didn't know was that the jade pendant space had limitations. To release items or expand the space, I had to exchange supplies or abilities with the space. And the most important secret was, the Hetian jade had 2 pendants, a mother and a child. Now, my brother has the mother pendant, and the child pendant is still in my possession. The mother pendant feeds the child pendant. All the supplies the mother pendant eats are largely transferred to my child jade pendant space. The thought of this made me excited. Unfortunately, the child pendant hasn't been activated long enough yet to hold much. In my past life, I often didn't want to pack their luggage so I could fit more food, but they thought I just didn't want to open the space. Every time I think about it, I wish I could slap myself back then. For such cold-blooded and cruel family, why did I still beg for their love and care? Carrying 2 big bags of snacks symbolically, I got on the elevator. Now my pockets were completely empty. I walked towards 8001. As soon as I opened the door, I didn't expect someone to be hiding in the room. He pushed me straight against the wall, and I almost got a concussion from the fall. Who are you? A man's voice, buzz cut, dressed all in green. The original owner of the house. Am I this unlucky? Didn't they say he never came home? Seemingly realizing I was a girl, he lessened the force of his grip, but his calm eyes scanned me from head to toe and he kicked away the snacks I'd brought back. Buying so many snacks. He seemed to remember something and suddenly let me go. You're Harper, the one my mom told me about. I had no idea what he was talking about, so I just put on a slightly wronged expression, hoping that as a soldier, he would be kind, upright, and wouldn't bully an innocent person. He sighed in resignation. I already told my mom not to introduce girls to me. I didn't expect her to give you the key, but my mom is gone now, and I can't take care of you either if you come here. I suddenly understood the situation he described and immediately squeezed out a few tears. I'm sorry, I didn't know you disagreed. I'll find a house and move out tomorrow. I won't bother you. TSK. I'm not asking you to leave immediately. The man was over 1.8 meters tall, and looked at me with a complicated expression, seemingly having just returned and not had time to change clothes. "You can stay for now, and move out when you find a house. Thank you for taking me in." I wanted to quickly get into the room, but after a few steps, I turned back and picked up the snacks, locked the door after returning to the room. Then I remembered the supplies I bought online would arrive soon. With so many things and such a big commotion, he would definitely be alerted. Damn it, why is it such a coincidence? Luckily, he didn't mistake her for a thief and shoot her. Thank his mom, thank Harper. As soon as the supermarket delivery arrived, I immediately opened the door to wait, carrying big and small bags into another room. In the end, he was alerted. He looked at my supplies, and surprisingly said nothing, closing the door. I was happy to keep stocking up, nearly 20,000 worth of goods. It wasn't actually much, mostly rice, flour, grains, and oil. Closing the door again, I felt extremely at ease. The apocalypse is coming tonight, and the world will change drastically tomorrow. I can't be driven out of here. Of the 3 rooms, 2 are packed to the brim, and I can't even walk in my own bedroom. Once the sun jade pendant space expands, I'll be able to fit everything. I lay on the bed contentedly and took out my phone. Forgot to check on the 3 ghosts at home. While the internet and appliances still work these last 2 days, I'll take one last look. Logged into the monitoring software and entered my account. It's almost 12 o'clock, and they've only just gotten home. I noticed they also invited my brother's girlfriend, and I immediately felt amused. My brother's girlfriend is Zhao Xian, also a remarkable big shot. They entered the house, first looking around for me. Not finding me, they discovered the broken doors and windows. Mom and Dad were tidying up the house while scolding me. Little brother was immersed in the dream of being the king of the base, lying on the messy sofa in the living room, eyes closed, resting and sorting the supplies he bought today. Mom and Dad, be quiet, you're so noisy. So what if that left? We have plenty of supplies, what's there to be afraid of? Later, when she has nowhere else to go, she'll definitely come back begging us. Yeah, old lady, go make food. Dad also lay down to rest, turned on the TV, and prepared for the apocalypse. Mom looked at the people in the living room, then glanced at Zhao Xian, clearly wanting her to go in and cook. But Zhao Xian was sharp and stayed close to her little brother, talking to him. His girlfriend was very interested in his space and asked him to try it. Little brother thought it was perfect timing, as he had put too much miscellaneous furniture in before and wanted to take some out. But soon, he frowned, probably starting to figure out the rules for using the space. To put things into the jade pendant space, there are no prompts or restrictions, but when taking things out, you need to exchange them for food of equivalent volume or weight. This means that a large portion of the supplies put in will be taken by the space. This is also why I wasn't well off even though I had space and supplies in my past life. Most of the time, I was reluctant to use supplies for exchange, so I used my abilities instead, which prevented my abilities from growing. Damn it, I have to give it supplies too. Little brother was furious. Dad, find a way to contact my sister. This space probably still has some issues. My dad instantly got nervous. This was the family's livelihood after all. He went to the kitchen to find my mom, but unexpectedly the kitchen suddenly went bang and exploded. My dad hadn't gone in yet, so it wasn't a big deal, but my mom's entire face and one hand were bloody and mangled. What are you doing? My younger brother saw the 2 elderly people lying on the ground, and didn't even help them up. His tone was incredibly annoyed. Told you to cook a meal, and you blew up the kitchen. You're so useless. How can you talk like that? Dad at least felt sorry for his wife. She's your mom. Don't you see she's injured? Go get the first aid kit. My younger brother reluctantly got the first aid kit. Mom kept wailing in pain. She couldn't rest, she couldn't eat supper, and she didn't dare order takeout, because the apocalypse had already arrived. Zhao Xian didn't believe in the apocalypse at first, until the news started showing all sorts of situations, and she got scared. She was an orphan, with no parents, no relatives, and no friends. Her only reliance was Jin Long, so she volunteered to cook noodles, at least to let these people eat their fill. I chuckled. The real show was yet to come. I slept soundly for a night, and the next day when I woke up, people were scrambling for food everywhere. I noticed the man was gone from the room, probably off to save people from suffering. Afterwards, I cooked some breakfast, one person eating their fill, and the whole family not hungry. It felt great. Such days are truly rare. I searched around in the room and found a copy of the man's ID card. His name was G. Hugo. That name, it sounds a bit familiar. turn on the TV, while eating snacks. I'm paying attention to people's livelihood, casually turned on the home surveillance again, and was surprised to find that Zhao Xianzi and Mom were fighting, because Zhao Xian refused to serve her. I'm not a nanny who came here specifically to serve you, eat it or not. I won't cook for you anymore. Zhao Xian always considered herself a fairy. She hated cooking the most, and had been cooking for several years due to being bullied in the orphanage. In her previous life, when she came to find Jinlong, it was me who cooked. She got pregnant and was very picky about food. I took the risk to find her a few cans of infant formula for pregnant women, but she incited her brother to rob my spatial jade pendant, saying that I must be hoarding good things. In this life, my mom is not so easy to talk to. Although her face and hands were injured, her feet were fine. She kicked her away. You live in my house and eat and drink. Aren't all of them from my son? How dare you hit me? I'll have my son kick you out. You old hag, how dare you kick me? The two got into a scuffle, frantically pulling each other's hair. Enough. Are you done arguing? Jinlong just got out of bed. I have rice and grain with my spatial ability. Can't the three of you cook a meal? After that, Zhao Xian almost hid in her room and didn't come out. Mom was thinking about finding me, but she took my phone, so there was no way to contact me. I stayed at 8001 for a few days. After the apocalypse began, the situation here was quickly brought under control by the army. Ji Hugo occasionally comes back to stay for one night. He's often here and there without a trace. While there weren't many zombies yet, I packed my backpack and went out with a short knife. Supplies will be scarcer the further I go. Mainly, I also hope to regain my powers, to use them to expand the sun jade pendant space a bit more. Otherwise, having a whole room of supplies sitting there brightly makes me uneasy. Besides coming into contact with the zombie virus, I don't know of any other way to get my powers back. I killed a few low-level zombies and arrived in front of a convenience store, but the supplies had already been looted. There's a small convoy ahead, with a military truck at the front. Someone got out of the truck. My landlord, Ji Hugo. Right. I remember now. Ji Hugo was one of the big figures in the early days of the entire Morning Light base, and his public reputation was excellent. I say early days because he died later. I looked around the area, but didn't find a suitable opportunity to interact with zombies. Instead, I overheard a lot of gossip. A lanky, thin young man in his 30s with glasses was complaining about Ji Hugo. What's the captain thinking? Being so good to these lowlifes, giving them everything he has, but they don't appreciate it at all. Still complaining that we the army can't provide food and lodging. What the hell? A bunch of scum. Spitting at me. She had seen this person before. He was active in the base in the later stages, working for the future base leader. Forget it. The captain definitely has his reasons. Li Di, hurry up and write the report. Our base's expansion depends on you, said the deputy captain. Where did the captain go again? Li Di looked at the convoy. The deputy captain replied, just received notification to go to a nearby junior high school to rescue people. I'm on standby to see if support is needed. I snuck a glance and found the deputy captain looking abnormal. After nerdy Li Di left, a long-haired girl arrived. Her voice was very low, but I still heard their conspiracy. If Ji Hugo falls into trouble, delay the rescue. I thought for a moment and followed them stealthily. The junior high school wasn't far, just a few minutes walk. On the side of the school playground, I encountered some students being chased by zombies. I climbed over the wall and killed the zombies. Thank you, classmate. Let's go quickly. The army is here to rescue us at the school gate. I ran with them, but before we reached the school gate, a large wave of students rushed towards us. Run. The zombies at the gate suddenly increased. I walked against the flow of the crowd. At the school gate, dozens of soldiers were bravely resisting. Suddenly, hundreds of zombies appeared out of nowhere and rammed the iron gate, bending it and creating a small gap. The zombies couldn't get in yet. A few brave junior high male students were also helping, but Captain Ji Hugo advised them to retreat behind the iron gate. I stood beside the gap in the iron gate, a gap that could only accommodate one zombie at a time, which was actually a great spot to kill them. If a zombie stuck its hand out, I'd chop off a hand. If it stuck its head out, I'd chop off a head. I took out 2 knives from the sun jade pendant space and threw them to the 2 male students who hadn't left yet. They were clearly hyped up from killing and immediately followed me, swinging their knives in unison. With everyone's effort, the number of zombies temporarily decreased, allowing the soldiers to rest inside the gate. I saw Ji Hugo walking towards us. You guys are quite brave. Then he asked for our class, name, and age. I couldn't answer. Ji Hugo looked at me a few times and didn't ask any more. watching the zombies continuously gathering outside the gate. He called his second in command for backup. I thought to myself, this rescue might not come, and it's possible the zombies outside were caused by his second in command, Captain G. There's a level 2 zombie on the playground. It took G. Hugo half an hour to kill the level 2 zombie. When he returned, he was slightly injured. He was forced into quarantine. I got him some food and hot water. A soldier asked me to keep an eye on him, as they all felt G. Hugo and I were quite familiar. Okay, you guys go ahead and do your thing. I'll watch him. Gave him some hot water to drink, and I took out some treasure porridge from the sun jade pendant for him. He glanced at it, ate, and laughed. You've hidden quite a few things. I glanced at him and didn't say anything. What's your name? That made me freeze. He finally realized I wasn't Harper, that his mom mentioned. My name is Jean D. Hearing that, it's clearly a name that favors males over females. He had a fever, a high fever that wouldn't go down. I could only keep using physical cooling methods on him. I checked the space, but there were no fever reducing medicines. Thinking about his character, there aren't many upright and handsome officers like him. It would be a pity if he were gone. Morning Light Base needs him too. I picked up the phone and called my brother, Gene Long. Hey, little brother. You, Gene D. Yo, you brat are still alive. You're actually calling me. My brother was clearly a bit surprised. And soon, his arrogant tone took over. What? Can't survive out there? Yeah, I'm dying. I pretended to be weak. But, little brother, you've discovered the secret of the space, right? On the other end of the phone, Mom was cursing me again, calling me a dad, asking where I ran off to, and saying I might as well die out there. Gene Long told others to shut up. Clearly, he wanted to have a good talk with me about the jade pendant space. Sis, Gene Long's tone softened. There's a bit of a problem with the jade pendant space. Just tell me how to solve it, and you're always welcome back home once it's fixed. I sneered inwardly. The upper hand was now in my grasp. I told him about the jade pendant having a sun jade pendant, but I said that I had given the sun jade pendant to a friend, and that friend wouldn't return it now unless I could prove the sun jade pendant was mine. How can you prove it? Gene Long asked immediately. You can exchange some unimportant medicines, like antivirals or fever reducers. If my sun jade pendant receives the medicine, it will successfully prove it's the mother and son pendant. Sis, I'm not that stupid. You must be short on medicine, right? Gene Long burst out laughing. If you need proof, I can give you some flour, but no medicine. I replied casually. Anything is fine. Flour and rice work too. You know, the space only accepts edible resources. I was afraid you wouldn't give me rice, so I changed it to medicine. My brother was fooled by me. I know he's naturally suspicious, and with such ambiguous answers, he couldn't tell what I actually needed. Sister, I can give you whatever you need, but you must bring back that sun jade pendant. I scoffed. If you don't give it, fine. I don't lack it. I immediately hung up the phone. Then I opened the monitor. Mom's going crazy again inside the house. Her wound is festering. She's not better. She's rambling in the hall, saying she'll find me, or no one will cook. Only then did I realize these people had all lost a lot of weight. My younger brother also wanted to call me back, but I don't know where sister is now. This dead girl, how dare she hang up on me? Dad took the phone, called me, and threw a command at me. I'm telling you to get back here now. Bring that sun jade pendant. Did you hear me? Humph. He still thinks he's the head of the household. Tell my brother to exchange items first, otherwise no negotiation. Anyway, I'll have plenty of supplies later. You can't always not use the items from the space, right? Moreover, my sun jade pendant can reflect, meaning that the supplies I own, I can give back to you if I want, and you can't do anything to me if I don't. These words made them choked with emotion. You have 10 minutes to consider. Otherwise, don't look for me anymore. I'm just giving you a chance now. Finally, my brother agreed to exchange medicine and some food for me. I got the fever reducer, turned off my phone, carefully checked the medicine, and gave it to G. Hugo. The next day, G. Hugo awakened his metal ability. This time, G. Hugo led the teachers and students to safely avoid the zombie tide. I took out some of the space food and pretended that G. Hugo found it, which helped stabilize morale. The rescue team was late, and the deputy captain had an apologetic look on his face, saying that dealing with other zombies had delayed them. I reminded G. Hugo to be wary of his deputy captain. I returned to 8001 alone. I've been infected with the zombie virus. I was burning up and out of it, and I felt someone touching my forehead. It was cool. I took some fever reducers. It's not a big deal. If I can get through this, I'll have superpowers. This time, without the burden of the mother pendant, my superpowers will surely be stronger. When I woke up, I smelled the aroma of rice porridge. G. Hugo was sitting next to me, awake. I drank the porridge, and after resting, I tested my superpowers. Surprisingly, I got ice abilities, which were different from my previous life. I opened my phone again. Dozens of missed calls. I guess my brother and the others must be furious. It's impossible for them to get the sun jade pendant, and even less likely for them to send back supplies. At this time, power outages had occurred everywhere, and water sources were becoming scarce. Since Yongda residential area was established as a base, the backup generator could still be used occasionally, but it's uncertain for other areas. It's probably impossible to stay at home anymore. It's time for them to come out and suffer. Look how ferocious the zombies are in this world. Estimating that they had escaped in a sorry state, I gave them a video call, mainly because I was afraid their phones would die. Otherwise, I could have called later. As expected, Dad and Mom's phones were off. When I called Jinlong, I ate infinite chicken wings and watched TV, saying, "Hi, little brother, hope you're doing well." He answered immediately, "Sis, please stop playing. I'm begging you." Jinlong's clothes were tattered, his hair messy, his face sallow, and his tone was filled with panic. "Where are you? You're still eating chicken wings. Mom is gone. Come back quickly and see Dad. He's going crazy too." I felt a bit surprised. No matter how bad things were, he had a space. Although he didn't stockpile much food, he wouldn't be so miserable if he joined any small team. "Where's your girlfriend Zhao Xian?" I asked. "Don't mention that bitch. She stole my jade pendant and ran off. If I ever see her again, I'll kill her." "Sister, Mom was pushed into the zombies by her. Come back quickly and support me. Help me get revenge." "Oh, I'll see. I'm lying down so comfortably right now, I don't want to move." I deliberately responded to him this way. In my past life, when I was surrounded by zombies, I asked him to help, and he told me the same thing. An eye for an eye. Realizing my indifference, my brother suddenly knelt down. "I'm begging you, sis, I really can't live anymore. I wronged you in my past life, sis." When G. Hugo returned, he happened to see me on a video call. I turned my head and continued watching my brother's performance. "Sister, as long as you're willing to forgive me, I'll do anything. Please, sister, my phone is almost dead, and I'm waiting for you to call me back. In my past life, I was a beast, and I shouldn't have treated you like that. What will it take for you to forgive me?" "Oh," I sneered. "I also want to see you being gnawed by zombies, gnawed down to just bones. If you can do that, I'll find you." Jinlong suddenly turned pale. "Sister, I truly know I was wrong. Please, sister." I hung up and blocked him. G. Hugo stood behind me. I turned around and asked, "What? Do you have a problem with that?" "How could I? I want to see what your brother looks like. If I meet him in the future, I can feed him to the zombie horde." I smiled. "Let's go eat. I've kept it warm in the pot." He brought out a bowl and sat with me. "Was it handled?" I was asking about his deputy. "Yeah, he was also fed to the zombies," he said while eating. "How did you know it was him?" I have sharp eyes that can see through this life and the past. However, at first, I thought Li Di was the problem. The man smiled. "Li Di does have some issues, but they're not major." Later, I went out with him to fight zombies, and my ice ability advanced by leaps and bounds, and I received more and more supplies. Li Di became the leader of the base. He could write good articles, cook, and kill zombies. I once asked about G. Hugo's background, and Li Di said in surprise, "Brother G doesn't have a mom. He came out of an orphanage."